All right, we are now recording, and oh, look, I was on somebody else's podcast, and they had the same Now Recording bot that Now Recording has. I was like, wait a minute, am I on the right podcast? What is going on here? I was totally thrown off. Oh, my God.
Do you know what's funny is I started playing a Now Recording episode once when I was on call with, like, my boyfriend, and, like, it started off with, Now Recording, and he was like, what? And like, no, I'm not recording you. I'm just watching a show, and then I had to like prove it and go back and then put it on. I'm like, this is not weird at all. I promise.
Like, honey, I'm really not recording you. I promise. It's just the name of the show and the bot they use. Okay.
Boy, Mike, you recording, Mike?
He's actually Canadian. So.
Slow blacks.
You're dating Bo Blacks? Now we know.
The drama. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of the broadcast. I am Mystic, and with me we have Miss Xylie Star.
Hey.
And then we also have Miss Eva.
Hello.
And today is a very special day because today we have our first inaugural guest of the broadcast, Mr. Matt Pitt.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going good. How you doing, brother?
I'm chilling, just ready to talk to you lovely ladies.
The tables have turned. I have Matt Pitt on a podcast. Let's go.
Except I didn't cheat, Xylie, so.
Okay. All right. I see what you did there, sir.
I was just going to ask how everybody's years were starting out and how crazy it's starting out for everybody here in this community, but I guess we're just jumping straight into it.
My God. My year, I have to admit, day one, January 1st of 2023, started out fantastic. Started out fantastic. My live stream made me feel so much better, and I felt like weight was lifted off my shoulders because I got everything out.
You looked like you were thriving on that stream. I think like there was a certain tone in your voice. I said it to you before. Where you get so mad that your voice turns a little bit sweet. Like you actually start going like, what did you say?
Valley Girl.
Yeah, Valley Girl. Your voice goes Valley Girl. It's so funny.
All for the comedy, y'all. All for the comedy.
My best friend told me, she goes, the madder you get, you do sound more white. The madder you get, you sound like a Valley Girl. And I was like, yeah, probably so. Yeah.
It's kind of like Tommy. When Tommy's mad, he's at his best. When Xylie's mad, she's at her best,
It's crazy.
I see similarities with Tommy and Xylie for sure.
That's why when Tommy was shitting on Connor, and I was like, this doesn't really make sense to me, but I'm not gonna like try to correct it because he's mad at this guy, so let's make content,
Yeah. That's how cranky old people get, though.
Yeah.
We start just living and breathing in our anger, and we thrive in our anger. And once we hit a certain point, let's go. Let's go because we don't care anymore. Let's go.
Yeah.
You said the fight is on. I got napalm in one hand, a grenade in the other. Choose your way to burn.
Yes,
Choose your way to burn.
Yep.
All right. So we are officially saying his name now, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Broken.
Yes.
There is no things we're not having to not say anymore. No.
Salvo pancakes is a piece of shit. Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
For some backstory for everybody, we did like a session 0 if y'all play D&D. We did basically a session 0 of the podcast where it's like, okay, what are we going to talk about? What are we not going to talk about? Let's establish boundaries. And she immediately said, Salvo motherfucking pancakes. I'm not talking about that dude ever. How the turns have tabled in 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here we are. Right.
Yep. It's true, though.
Yeah. It was very surreal just seeing everything like twist on top of Salvo like this. One day he's on top with his community, and the next thing you know, the community has turned on him, and he's being accused of making women drink piss and cheating on his wife, which I figured, and many other things. So it was fun. It was fun to watch. Salvo, he's a very admirable man. Dealt with this very well,
Yeah, very well. This just dropped like literally 8 minutes ago. Hold on, look at this selfie he just posted on Twitter, and tell me that's not a man that's losing everything right now.
It's a selfie.
Look in general.
Oh, he's going the Onision route. Lovely. Because didn't Onision literally just start posting video after video and selfie after selfie, and as soon as that's funny.
His hair looks great. Remember when he first came, his hairline was really leaving, and that his hair looks good.
He's saying his hair looks good in that. Yeah. It also looks like he's got what's the thing? What's going on with his lips? Is this a filter?
It looks like he got filler.
It looks like he sucked on one of those bottles. That craze where people were sucking on bottles. And then it would make their lips up. That's exactly what it looks like, yeah.
The Kylie Jenner motherfucking lip challenge.
I don't know. For me, what made me change my mind is, okay, so I was on that kick where I wasn't going to talk about him ever. Because my whole point was I was going to starve him from content. If I didn't talk about him, he had nothing to talk about me on. Well, we figured out that wasn't true. And, I hit a point where when all that stuff came out on him and I saw Clara on Twitter making herself out to be a victim and woe is me, it just clicked something inside me going, there is no way I'm going to let you act like a victim. There is no way when you were part of the harassment I got. And I just decided, you know what? That's it. I'm gonna speak my truth, and I did.
Speak your truth. I love that saying.
Queen. As you should. I understand the hesitation that you guys had at the beginning. It makes sense. Don't give him any attention. He's going down his spiral, his little rabbit hole, or going down into a hole and hopefully never coming out, right? Just leave him be, let him dig his own grave. But then it's no, you guys needed your own little retribution,
Yeah.
I feel like y'all needed that catharsis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little, I don't blame you guys for doing it. I mean, people are saying, oh, yeah, they waited for Salvo to get buried and they're going to fucking put the dirt on him. But at the same time, Salvo gave it to you a lot, so why not give it back? And you said you weren't going to talk about him, but, I mean, fucking be a vulture, Fucking just he's dying on the ground. Fucking take a bite out of his ear.
Yeah. Exactly. And honestly, but see, if you look at my live stream, it really wasn't there was no way I could talk about the S&T without talking about Salvo. You know what I mean? There's no way. It's Salvo News Team. Hello. But it was more centered around them and Edwin than it was Salvo.
Right.
Because he did what he did, but you know what? He couldn't have done what he did without them. Because they were also the ones giving me the hell that I got. They were the ones brigading my chats with the pancakes, with the barking and all that other stuff. So you know what? I need to tell them. I need to tell them how I felt and how it was full of shit what they did. Now you're trying to act like a victim? Fuck off. Fuck off.
Are you enjoying that it's complete disarray with them? There's people, it's like a civil war within the news team. There's CJ Brown and Parking Tigers were fighting. People have split off. Aloe Piss just came forward and said she was manipulated into telling her story and that she didn't want to do it. So
and now Clara's thirsting over Parking Tiger's docs. So it's kind of all.
I am loving every second of it. I'm loving it. They're eating each other alive. I love it.
The cult leader has gotten arrested, and now they are feeding on each other.
Yes.
They do not know what to do. They are lost.
Yep.
It's so wild just to see it disintegrate.
But look how. But the funny thing is look how they're acting without Salvo there, and now they're eating each other alive. So that tells you what their friendship was based off of anyway. There weren't real friendships there. Their friendships were based off of fucking over other people.
Yeah, about what anybody else thought about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There wasn't a real friendship with any of them there. It was all based on the comedy of it all. The let's talk shit about people. That's all it was based on. It wasn't based on true friendships, and you're seeing that now. And I love it. I love every second of it.
I think Salvo knew that. Like, I think he was definitely taking advantage of the situation, the parasocial atmosphere of these people willing to do his bidding. But he probably knew that, like, eventually they're going to turn on me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I even told him one time in the DM something about, but that's not how your audience is, dude. Your audience is taking you for real. And he would literally tell me, I don't care what my audience thinks.
yeah, Salvo's just trying to do crazy shit, and he's going to take people along with the ride if he wants to. And
and I think that's the whole thing, like, behind all that crazy shit that happened as well, is, like, the crazier that it is, like, the less likely anyone's going to come forward with it, because who's going to believe that? And I think that's where he had that to begin with. And all of a sudden, like, you know, they all started talking, and then they realized that all this crazy shit that they were doing, people were doing crazier shit.
Yep.
And it was all because he wanted that power over them. And I think that if he could get them to do whatever he wanted, that, you know, then that's theirs. And, you know, if they came out with anything, then, you know, all their shit would come to light too. So,
yeah. I mean,
he had no problem with that.
I mean, I'll say it before and I say it again. He's a cult of personality, just period. Mm-hmm. And when cults dissolve, typically it's because they find out, like, the members start to find out either what our leader is doing is actually bad. They come to a realization, or they start realizing he doesn't actually love any of us, and this person, this thing about this guy and this whatever, and it starts all coming together, and it's like, oh, we have to disband now because nothing of what we thought was real.
Yeah, I never saw a streamer or commentary channel under 10K get this crazy though, with all this stuff with the fan base and all this. Like, I've never seen that happen before. His cult following was wild, and the attention he's gotten has been pretty wild. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Moist Critical or someone like that just picked the story up and started talking about it. Wouldn't be surprised if a commentary channel, like, made a video 6 months from now and it was a banger, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even give it 6 months, to be honest. And also, like, even with the Most Critical stuff, of course he's going to cover this because he's covered Salvo before when he did something about Deaf Noodle. So it's going to come to light on a bigger platform. It's going to get a lot bigger than what it is right now, and this is just the beginning of it.
But Matt makes a really good point, because someone under 10K like that, I mean, honestly, the way people talk about him and the way people feared his cult following, because believe me, I was one of them at first, because of how they used to brigade my chats and literally run off regular viewers of mine. You would think he had 100K. I
think the issue is the commentary community got smaller, and so people with smaller sub counts and concurrent viewers were able to make dents way bigger than they would have been able to do in 2019 or so.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if Keemstar can say that Xylie, Tipster, Tommy, Augie, all people with, like, under, like, 100,000, hell, even, like, under, like, well, no, I'll say under 100,000 or just above, are big figures in the community, you could that definitely shows the way that this community has gotten, where the people who are, like, over 1 mil are no longer one of us, basically.
That's how I was always told. That's how the commentary community. Okay, I was told that that's part of the reason why the commentary community died, because the old heads, they pretty much left. When they reached a certain plateau, they pretty much left. That's what I got told.
Everyone in first wave commentary is doing something else now.
Yeah. When you get to the point where, like, you're growing, but the content you're covering is smaller than you, so you're thinking, well, I can't cover. Yeah, I'm punching down. I'm punching way down. Like, I don't give a fuck if you punch down, but, like, it probably just probably bothers you to punch so down where people are watching you like, who the fuck are these people? So eventually, I guess they start covering, like, movies and bad movies and stuff, like Elvis the Alien and all those guys,
right?
Leon Lush and those guys. Wavy Web Surf was a commentary channel for a while. Like,
was he?
He covered, he covered drama content. He was pretty notorious in the community for being a commentary channel. And then he started doing other stuff, got picked in the algorithm, and now he's massive. But he's like one of the only guys that really still, I wouldn't say he's stuck around, but he watches and he's chill behind the scenes. He just won't come on shows because, like, he doesn't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
But
which is fair enough.
Yeah. I don't blame him. Yeah.
I don't blame him either. I like Wavy. Wavy's pretty cool.
Yeah, because like Tommy would see guys. Has always been in that position where you get this 1K sub guy who starts hanging around, and all of a sudden they just take off, and all of a sudden they're at 100K, 200K, and then they're gone. You know, so he would see guys grow like past him, way past him. And Wavy Webster was one of those guys who grew past him, but still stuck around, and that's why he's probably one of the cooler guys in the community.
Yeah,
that's cool.
like even still, like you don't usually see him much in like the group chats, but you still see him hanging around like the commentary, like people at VidCons and shit too. Like he's still cool with everybody, even the new people.
Yeah, you'll see him like a tweet or something that involves it too, or like you'll see he keeps up, he watches.
Yeah,
like he's still a fan of Sharp from the Point.
Once an SFTP guy, always an SFTP guy.
Yeah. I want to know what the big guys are like. Did they ever? What they thought about Salvo, if they caught up with Salvo, if they know what's going on with this guy, because it's been such a interesting story to see unveil, because you got a guy who was very small. Everyone kind of thought he was just a spurg who was just doing, clout grabs, going after YouTubers and saying dumb shit. Tommy told him to fuck off. Everyone was kind of just like, this guy's a spurg, and then all of a sudden we realize he's really entertaining and he's really funny, and you see videos of him like hanging out with Jake Paul, and he had a video with 100K, and he got featured on Death Noodles, and you're thinking, oh, so this guy's been around for a while, and then all of a sudden he starts covering art stuff, and next thing you know, flamenco thing happens, and it's just like this massive W that skyrockets him to the point where like someone like an AC who tried to troll him got fucked.
Yeah.
And then the Deaf Noodles thing happened, and that was like the end of the story, because that's when everyone was like, oh, this guy's willing to go places to fuck with people. We've never seen that before in the commentary community. This guy is going to be great. And everyone was like in his corner, and then it turned like he lost his monetization after the fireballs, and he got kind of wrapped up in the SNT, and now we're here.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
I'm going to be honest. The shocking fact that his rise and fall all happened in under a year is insane to me.
You're right about that, actually.
Like, how does that... You have to have the most, like, fucking luck in the fucking world to just... like rise that high and then lose it all in like a span of like how long has he been around? 7-8 months?
I mean, like he started like coming around this time last year a little bit on Twitter maybe, but it was really March is when people started noticing who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I want to say
that's kind of addict behavior. No joke. Like it's obviously he's got like some sort of sexual addiction. He did say that he had like a drug addiction, but we're not quite sure if it's still a thing. So it's kind of like all those things kind of add up to a lot of stuff that's happened.
It's self-sabotage.
Yeah, exactly. You get to that point where you do self-sabotage. You get to it like you do build yourself up, and you've got a big ego and got a big head about yourself, and then you fuck it up for yourself as well.
Like he told me he knew that texting these girls were going to come back and bite him, but he did it anyway.
Yeah.
So
and that's why he did it so hard and fast, right?
Yeah.
He knew, might as well try and get away as much as possible right now before I get caught.
Right.
Yeah.
True. I think I'm going to be honest, and I'll go ahead and start the conversation. All right. I'll be the one to do it. I think the biggest disappointment of all of it, though, for me personally, was Edwin.
Yeah.
What, homie? No.
Yeah. Because my biggest, listen, and Matt can tell you this. I was not feeling good about Edwin going over to Salvo's side after all his friends were being harassed by Salvo.
You were with us when we had a conversation with you, right, Xylie? Me, you, and Edwin, and I think maybe Boblax was there. You remember that?
Yeah.
I was explaining how, look, Salvo's funny. He's just doing the jokes. He's gonna take it as far as he wants to. Try not to freak out. Try not to give him content. And Edwin kind of agreed with me. I didn't realize that Edwin was going to go be his best friend.
Yeah.
I didn't know Edwin was going to be by his side. And that's when things got a little weird, because he was almost complimenting Salvo. And it was weird to see the guy who was known as the person who did videos on very serious things all of a sudden take this twist where he's now the sidekick of Salvo Pancakes, and he's, you know, repeating his talking points, doing the same jokes, making very, you know, edgy jokes towards like Tipster and you and all this stuff. It was interesting to see that happen.
It was interesting to live through it, too. It was like, whoa, Edwin, what the hell happened to you? And you're wondering why. And then he was always complaining that people were saying, I'm changing. Edwin, you have literally changed. I have it on video where you have literally changed. You went from, and I still believe this. I changed my mind during that S&T stream I did. But you know what? I'm going back to it. I still believe he did what he did to save his own face. Because I think he was worried about Salvo coming after him because he went after everybody who surrounded him.
Yeah, I tended to think that because Edwin was very edgy back in the past. He had this stuff with Seer. He did skits. And I think Salvo kind of brought that back out of him and he probably had a sense of creativity that he hadn't had for a while. And he was dealing with an audience that wasn't as vicious as Edwin's audience prior. I know that Salvo's audience is very vicious, but in like the social justice sense, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
so
I think that he got secondhand ego from
Right.
hanging out with Salvo a little bit, to be honest. And I think, like, you know, becoming single during that point as well didn't really help him.
No.
But I don't know what to say about him.
it was just one thing after another. And
Yeah.
I noticed he would do this. Did he ever do this on streams before where he would stir the pot like this? Did you ever notice that back in like 2020 or 2019 or when he
See,
would do
I
streams?
wasn't, like, he didn't do streams back then. So it was like he wasn't streaming as much. So
Right.
like I kind of become more involved with the server about 2 years ago. I was around 4 years ago when I was watching his videos, but I wasn't like in the community as much. So like when I became mod and sort of, you know, and then, you know, he got invited me on to start doing live streams with him and stuff like that. The ones that I was on, kind of, you know, I do see him do little slight sort of, you know, remarks and have a little smirk and then like try and stir things up. And I'm like, yeah, you know, that's kind of what he kind of did.
Yeah.
You know, but it was never like in a malicious way, I thought.
I started noticing him take kind of like he would start to like twist things a lot with when AC came on and guys like that. I noticed him very much so stirring the pot with people, trying to create drama, and I got no issue with that. If I'm being honest with you, I do that myself sometimes on that recording,
Yeah, of course,
live streams and
yeah.
stuff. But it's all in good fun. Like, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not trying to make anyone cry or anything like that. And I don't know if Edwin was trying to do that or not, but it was definitely a new character trait that I had never seen before. So I was just wondering if like that just popped out of nowhere. Is that always?
Well, that's something that I didn't notice, to be honest. Like, when I did see, because I was working a lot this year, and when I did catch streams where Edwin was live with Salvo, like I'd watch re-streams of it or like, you know, rewatch it or whatever. I was never really live when I was available to watch him. So I was seeing stuff like after things happened and all that sort of thing usually. And the clips of the streams that I saw were like with the Boblock stuff, and then he's like bringing up like Mario Sunshine sound in the background while he's just like, just all of that stuff clipped together plus that on top just seemed really like it wasn't necessary. And the fact that he didn't actually say anything in that stream while Boblock is in there and just letting him go for it, like, you know, I think it was kind of gross, and you should be standing up for that sort of thing or calling that sort of stuff out rather than like putting, you know, fan to the flames.
Right.
But who was I to say what that relationship was about? Like, you know, I wasn't quite sure how Boblock felt about it at the time, and then when he came out with how he felt, you know, a little more worse about it, because like you don't know how much of a friendship that they've got where this is like a normal joke for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You know, as someone else who's also been watching him for a while, I started watching his stuff during his Seer stuff back in the day. And this is all speculative, of course. I don't know him personally. I like as much as Eva does at all, or even at all, really. But I want to equate it to just dipping your toes in this side of the community in general. Because when I saw him getting more into this community, right, you started seeing him go on Augies, and then you start seeing him go on Tipsters, and then he's starting to, like, when he started getting in, right, he started to get a little bit more combative, especially when you're in, like, especially in a space where, old Augie streams where he used to pull, like, people who didn't like each other in just so they could fight live, you know?
Yeah.
And Tipster streams, he'd talk all the shit, right? And it just started building more and more, where his reputation in this community, as well as just, you know, the blood sports of it all, probably got him to the point where he saw Salvo as someone who he could relate to, someone who was an outsider who came in and started getting big within this community, but he just had more of a troll personality than he did, and so I want to say that's what he latched on to, just someone who's more combative, someone who starts shit, so it's like things that he can talk about, you know, and especially with having that person on your side, like you could talk about it all and seem as if you're in the right, because it's like, I know better because he's my friend.
Yeah, but then also you're avoiding that backlash from being his friend, which I think is the reason why he was trying to sort of, not trying, I genuinely think that I thought they had a friendship, and, you know, that, like, you know, he was going to change his Edwin and Mina channel to Edwin and Salvo.
Wait, what?
You know, like, yeah, so they can do live streams together, and, like, he had, like, these big plans and big goals with him, like, coming up. So, like, this is, like, it's just funny to me, because I feel like that I've seen kind of a manipulation there as well, like with Salvo did with the girls, but, like, not in that respect. It was still in the way that, like, you know, he was pushing Edwin to the extremes on his relationships with other people. But I'm not saying that that's an excuse. I am, like, saying that, you know, that this is, like, the catalyst kind of for him kind of going to that extreme, even though it was kind of niggling away at it. It always had kind of been there, but this is now his excuse to sort of, I guess, push things a bit further, because now he kind of can, because there's someone else out there that's pushing it further than him.
I feel like Edwin is a perpetual follower.
Yes, thank you. Like, I was about to say the same thing.
I was gonna say he was a leech to a certain capacity, and then next thing you know, he found a blood bank.
Yeah, and he develops their similar traits to the person he's, like, I'll say attracted to, but I could say attracted to as well because of the, but, you know,
well, but no, you're right though, because look, he started to become Alabama Edwin when he was hanging out with Nick, Boblax, and Augie. He became Alabama Edwin. So then when he started hanging out with Salvo, well, then asshole Edwin. Well, I call it asshole Edwin art, but he takes on different people's traits. It's like he doesn't have a personality of his own.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know what's funny? When he was around, when he was on Tipster's streams, right? You know, back in the day where Tipster would publicly flirt with every single woman in the fucking, in his live or whoever popped in.
Did you say used to?
Yeah,
I don't. Definitely still does that.
I'm sorry, but I don't watch Tipster streams much anymore. I haven't really been watching.
No, I honestly have never really watched Tipster streams. I only kind of tune in when there's something going on, and, like, he's probably covering it. But like, literally, like, yesterday, the day before, we had, like, all the goth mums on there, and they're all like,
for his birthday stream.
Birthday stream. It was kind of funny.
But I noticed when Edwin would get on Tipster streams, he'd become extremely overtly sexual. Like,
I think that's in general, though.
But I don't. To be fair, I don't really watch. I never actually watched Edwin's streams live, so I personally wouldn't know. But I would literally go into the VC while he's live, and he'd say some weird shit that made me uncomfortable at some points, and I'm like, okay, that happened.
Yeah, Edwin would say some stuff that was like, whoa, buddy, hold on now. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. So, okay, general question for everybody. Especially Eva, being that you were there, how did you feel about that New Year's Eve stream?
You know, it was a bit rough. Like, I told him, you know, straight after the last stream, we had, like, a small conversation, like, the next day, like, a couple of short conversations really about how it went, and I was honest with him. And I said, like, you know, what I thought about the situation. Like, I was being a friend and telling how it was, and said that didn't look great. And I said, Xylie's going to put you on blast, which was obvious to anybody who has been paying attention. And I said, like, your friends warned you, and they just wanted you to acknowledge that even after everything that happened to everyone else, you still fought for Salvo, and now look where you are. Like, he ghosted you, and you ignored them. And he responded saying nobody warned him about the sexting, which was his hard line. And then the next one was getting Chris banned off Twitch. Was like, and I was like, oh, okay. I just explained that I stopped being a huge fan after how he was with Chris and Xylie, and I was uncomfortable when he started going on about Augie's mum and Tipster's wife. But I just didn't like how he didn't respect anyone's boundaries, and he got a crazy look in his eyes when he locked onto something that can be exploited for content, But yeah, I never said anything out loud to anyone about any of that because I kind of wanted to be civil, and I just didn't want to involve myself. Like, Salvo and I have never really talked like at all besides on stream, so I only saw what everyone else saw,
Yeah.
So I just didn't really want him to notice me, to be honest, because I didn't want to be involved. So, sure, I thought Salvo was funny, and I also said that he was crazy and inappropriate and stuff like that as well. But there was a lot of malicious stuff that I don't like. So, after I said all that to Edwin, he goes on to say something like, Salvo's just like an animal that senses fear, otherwise he's harmless. But he mostly agreed with everything that I had to say, and then he said that if Salvo ever comes back, then I want him to address a lot of things. And then he was like, there's a few things now that he's saying, like, in our DMs that, like, he flat out half-truths and flat out lied to me throughout the whole thing. Like, obviously I picked up through that live stream that he wasn't telling whole truths, and the way that he sort of wouldn't half answer questions, or he'd try and go off to something else or avoid something that someone said in chat or something like that. It was off, and everyone could see that, and I just couldn't sort of just gloss over that. I'm not like that, especially if there's something serious like this. And even saying to me, like, Brantley's being so gay for trying to egg on that I helped Salvo cheat, or that I knew all along, and it's just weird that they were fanning the flames and stuff like that. Like, this is still all these half-truths and these kind of little white lies and lies that he's saying to me before all this other stuff came out on the Keemstar show and whatever followed a few days after. So, like, when that stuff came out, I didn't hear from him at all. I didn't hear from him for like 3 days.
Oh, wow.
He messaged me just yesterday. So I just, I'm just annoyed. He didn't apologize to me initially for putting me in that position of being on his live stream without knowing the full situation, and then figuring out as I was being told that there was these half-truths. So if he had have owned his shit and had to talk to me honestly before and after the live stream, it'd be a lot better off right now, I think. Mm-hmm. So, like, the next day the Keemstar show aired and more info came out that I never heard, and then hearing Edwin confirm the car story and then actually being in the threesome with Salvo, yeah, he lied to me directly, saying things like I didn't know about the sexting, that's a hard line, and I didn't help Salvo cheat, and saying that no one can be trusted, these girls are all cloud whores, and, all this sort of stuff. So I'm thinking about, like, thinking that maybe they are. Like, he's telling me these things, he's sending me messages about what both Ollie and like Babs have said and saying to him. So like, I think instead of waking up to any messages from him at all, the day after all that stuff came out, I wake up to seeing that like several people had been added to like my Saturday live stream research server, which is just literally just me, him, and one other person, which we just have there just for literal research topics and receipts, and we just put everything in there we're going to talk about for any live streams that we do. So I wake up to several people being added to that live stream server, the name being changed from live stream to Taco Bunker.
Oh, that's the one I got invited to, and I said no.
So yeah, you got an invite for that, did you, by accident?
Apparently by accident, because I don't see why he would have invited me.
Unless he's like trying to like talk to you or something, I don't know.
No, he told me it was an accident.
Oh, that's funny. That's
he didn't tell me it was an accident. Sorry, I saw that he said that it was an accident.
Oh,
in the group in that Discord channel. So I didn't talk to him. I saw that he said that in the Discord channel.
Yeah.
So Yeah, and like, with a VC channel called Transparency. Transparency would have been good before you got caught out. You need to own your own shit, and that's your shit.
Why didn't you just shut the fuck up and not do a New Year's Eve stream? Just shut up and wait.
Well, if I had known, that was what I would have said. But then if I had known, I probably wouldn't have done the live stream at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it because I don't want to be put in that position.
Because now there's so many things getting twisted. I mean, at some point they were trying to. I'm not saying Kim was trying to insinuate this, but it just felt like they were trying to insinuate that. Now Babs stuck with that consent was there, but there's been insinuations that she was definitely uncomfortable and this was creepy. And when I start hearing uncomfortable and creepy, I start, being like, okay, what are you really trying to say here? I know you don't want to say it on stream, but what are you really trying to say? And
I'm kind of. I think it's funny that he stuck with the fact that we all tried to warn him about Salvo, and he sticks on the fact that we didn't warn him about the text. How would we have known about the sexting? We didn't. We were warning you about Salvo as a person. Yeah, it's just that I'm like, how are we going to warn him about the sexting? It wasn't the sexting we were warning him about. We were warning him about Salvo because Salvo literally ran through all his friends and he decided to go befriend that motherfucker.
Just the whole thing just spiraling down, and then I don't get why he went on Tommy's stream. Like, I didn't DM him to come on. Nobody DM'd him to come on. He just went into that voice chat and
covering your ass. It's all covering your ass logic.
I guess, but it's just like
he ended up exposing his ass.
I wanted to say, because this is kind of like a known meme in Edwin's little world now. Say less, bro. Just say less.
Talk less. Talk less.
Yeah,
really good merch.
When people for some reason get on the defensive, I don't know why people don't just sit down and think what their best move should be at this point. No, they just go balls to the wall straight in on an apology an explanation tour. That's the best fucking thing to say. An explanation tour, when the explanation can get easily disproven, and it's obvious that those explanations are lies, and they keep digging themselves a deeper hole when they think they're digging, they're patching it up,
Yeah.
I don't understand what that logic behind that is.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, the problem is Salvo's his partner, right? And they definitely never talk to get their story straight. And now he finds himself on a stream with Salvo, the guy he doesn't have his story straight with. And he's not only that, but he's telling people in DMs different things that he's saying on stream. So everything kind of just turned on him very quickly.
He's telling his friends different things that happened on stream, people that are meant to be backing him up, and that's why I'm also so annoyed at that as well. Not only did he not message me for all that time, he then created a group of people that would just be his yes men and tell him what to do next, rather than just fucking owning up to shit and just leaving it like the original fucking plan. I don't understand why he had to build up all this thing. He didn't even message me, and then do you want to hear what he did message me?
Yeah,
go for it.
After I came back, this is the only DM I'm gonna read, so okay. I'm not gonna. He said, "Hey Eva, I'm so sorry for any secondhand stress my situation has brought you. I really am. I feel like you have cut me off and it hurts. I do not have to tell you this, but you are free to say however you feel about me. I'm not holding anything against you in any way. I just want to know that I am sorry and I feel terrible losing you. You don't have to answer or anything. I do understand distancing yourself."
He distanced himself from you. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
So to me, automatically, this is a defense message. You know what I mean? It's on the defensive, and he does apologize, but it took him until January 7th to say that he was sorry for any stress that he brought me, and he didn't even apologize for telling me any half-truths or lying to me. And the fact that he said that, I feel like you have cut me off and it hurts. I never cut him off. My DMs are open. I am still inside the Edwin's Generation Discord. As soon as I saw that Saturday livestream research server, I woke up to it being called the Taco Bunker with several people in VC and all these other channels about transparency, I left. I did not want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of any fucking secret groups with a fun name especially after this whole bullshit with DHS with like Darcy Evans and stuff like that, when he like fucking like got hacked, and like that was stressful enough. I don't want to be in that situation again, so I left. That was not me cutting it off. That was me setting a boundary. Yeah. And I didn't want to be involved in that.
Yeah, because look what's happening is that now that he's being exposed, right? Now people are coming out of the woodworks, like that Michelle girl. I didn't have no idea who she was. She's a moderator. She's claiming that he was sending voice memos of Sarah to the Onision alleged victim to his moderators. And
I have no idea about any of this, because I was obviously like, I knew about Michelle being a moderator and that, like, you know, she was like, you know, a swear word. You can't really like say her name or something like that. So I never really talked much about it. So like from what I knew, like she was just trying to group together a whole bunch of mods to go against Edwin for some reason, and Edwin didn't like that she was turning people against him, so she got demodded or something. Yeah. So that's like the gist of the situation that I heard. And so then hearing Michelle on Keemstar shows say like a bunch of those things and stuff like that, it's like I'm going to take what she says with a grain of salt as well, because I feel like that, you know, I don't feel like everything there is 100% with her too. So like, you know, it's hard to believe anybody right now, but I don't really know about Michelle. It's kind of interesting. I want to hear more about that, because it's going to make up my mind about a lot of things.
I used to say, like, I wish Now Recording was around in like 2020 and like early 2021, because Edwin Discord drama was from what I've heard, the stories were pretty interesting drama. It was always like everyday type of things, and he made a lot of I don't know if he did it on purpose or anything, but he made a lot of enemies in that Discord who are now probably going to come out with their own little stories, and some of them might be telling the truth and some of them might be lying and manipulating. So
and I can't even really confirm many of them, because I probably only got one half of the story, you know what I mean? So I don't really know much about it. All I know is that, like, you know, people like Honey came from that server. People like what's that other one that like turned out to be some sort of Zell. Yeah, there was so many people that have come from Edwin's.
He cultivated a very rabid female fan base that were very, like, his chat was the worst back in like 2020, and then he started hanging around with Augie, and it kind of calmed down, and then every now and then you see people going crazy. But I feel like when the Salvo stuff happened, it just, like, they just couldn't take it anymore. And the moment Edwin finally was exposed, it's like, all right, here's our moment. And I'm sure you're going to start seeing Dasha coming out soon on somebody's stream. I'm hearing rumors that's going to happen.
I wouldn't really be surprised. And I would also, like think someone like Anisia would also say something as well. Yeah. Like, you know, I have no, there's no surprise there with these people wanting to come out and say something now.
Yeah,
it happens every like 4 or 4 years apparently. So
yeah,
if OTK wasn't as huge as it is, Seer would probably also come out of the woodwork. Let's be real here, right?
No, but I don't think Seer has anything to stand on there though as well. Yeah. So I don't. Yeah. But the thing is that, like, I don't know anymore, because I've had all of this like information handed to me from Edwin's side, like even about Seer and all that sort of stuff. That like I am obviously I'm geared to be biased towards Edwin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now I just don't know.
Yeah. No, I can understand. You're probably sitting here going, did he lie to me about everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
to be honest.
I would also be weary too if it wasn't for the videos that he did before him jumping into this community, where he actually did have like actual receipts of everything that Dasha did.
He does.
And whatnot.
There is a whole bunch of videos on his channel and stuff about what Dasha had done. Dasha is gross. Like, there's no question about that. Yeah. Like, she's just a horrible human being.
If she does go on a live stream, and this comes out before that happens, I will tell everyone, please keep whatever she says with a grain of salt.
Yeah, well, with anybody, to be honest, that should be like the general rule of the internet. Just take everything with a grain of salt.
Especially Edwin, right now, it's like this is everybody's time to shine right now.
Well, I'm gonna be honest about one thing though. Like, look, I understand people have their issue with Olivia or whatever, all right? But she was and I'm doing air quotes, victim of Mama Max that he was supposed to be championing. And within the first 2 months of them talking, he already wants to fly her out.
See, I didn't know anything about that. I only found out about Olivia after Bo Blacks found out.
Yeah, me too.
So,
and it's like what Bo Blacks found out is like, dude, then how can you do that story on Mama Max now? Because you've already created a conflict of interest, which you already knew was a conflict of interest.
Edwin's saving grace, right, was he was always nice guy Edwin. He's like the chill dude. He'll hear your story. He defends victims of all ranges.
Yep.
And now you find out that he's basically Beavers. A horn dog.
Don't say that.
Yeah, no, Edwin is Beavers. At least Beavers is open about it.
No, I think Beavers wouldn't lie to me.
No, but I'm saying Beavers would totally do a video on a girl and then turn around and try to hit her up as well. Like that's something Beavers would probably do. Something Edwin has done. And look, I don't know about Olivia. Like she seems to crave lots of attention. I noticed that on Twitter. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing, but it's definitely something I've noticed.
Yeah, it does leave that sort of story a little bit more open than what is initially thought, because it is like she does, like I'm not about to victim blame a victim of someone. You know what I mean,
right?
But like you do see some holes in what she said, even like during the Mama Max like interviews and stuff like that. There were some holes in her stories. That's probably the only one that didn't really sort of line up all the way. I don't know whether it's because she has an issue with explaining things or she just misremembers things, and then and which can happen in a traumatic situation. Like I'm not trying to say that people can lie, but it's just I think that she's not helping herself by being openly saying that every time that she's drunk, and then I might do something wrong here. Who's got their DMs open? It's kind of I don't know. You're not putting yourself in a good situation.
I don't think Edwin's helping himself either by jerking off on FaceTime with her either.
See, and that's something else I didn't know about. Like, what the fuck is that?
Wasn't Edwin supposed to be the guy who was paranoid about being canceled and stuff? Like, why is he making these horrible decisions? Like, if I was in his if I was him, I would not have taken a girl I didn't really know that well to fucking Buffalo to hang out with Salvo Pancakes and Keemstar. That just sounds like way too much stress.
And then stay at her house for like a week.
Yeah, and then go stay at her house for a week. A girl you don't know, you're asking for trouble there. Like you two are not going to get along.
He knew that at the time. Like he thought this is like, I didn't think this through. This is a bad idea. Like when he was there, like with Babs, like he was just like, oh, I don't like this and blah blah blah. He didn't say I don't like this. He just said I don't think it was a good idea.
But you know what I find funny? This is what I find funny. There has to be as soon as I heard there was a recording that he recorded him and her fighting, why would you have to record y'all fighting? What is it about the reason y'all are really fighting that you felt like you needed to record it?
She's got shit on you, bro. She's got dirt.
Exactly.
You know she's got dirt, so you got to get your own dirt.
That's what I'm saying. He recorded her because he knew he did wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I believe, 100%.
He did a lot of weird shit, bro. I did not think Edwin was this. I didn't think Edwin was the type that'd be like, all right, pull over, let's suck your toes.
Oh my god.
No, I don't care about that weird shit. I don't kink shame. I really don't give a shit about the sex stuff. It's just like the lying and the dishonesty. It's just like that's enough. I'm done with that.
Mm-hmm. When he looked at that chat and he says, Xylie, it is what it is, when he said that, I was like, okay, and I kicked him out of all my Discords, and I unmodded him off of my channel, both of his accounts.
What was the context to that? Because I keep hearing you say that, and I'm like, what was he saying?
Because I kept repeating in the chat, but your friends were something like your friends were harassed by him by months. Or like you didn't stick up or something like that. I can't remember. I kept repeating what about your friends? Your friends were harassed by Salvo for months. And then at one point, he looked over at what I said, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but he looked over, and just the look on his face and the way he said it is what it is, it just hit me wrong. It hit me wrong. And I was like, you right. It is what it is. You right.
Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is, and I'm fucked. That's pretty much
Yeah, I must have blacked out at that stage because I don't remember it.
Were you hoping for him to be like Xylie, you know, I'm sorry for everything? Were you hoping for that maybe, or was it just
honestly? Yeah, I was kind of hoping that maybe he saw what really happened and maybe his judgment was clouded or something, and he might have said, "I'm sorry." Just like when Bo Black showed up and he almost cried with Bo Blacks, but as soon as Bo Blacks left, he started taking back what he said to Bo Blacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So honestly, I mean, then, yeah, I was looking for an I'm sorry. But now, it wouldn't have meant shit anyway because he face-to-face talked to Bo Blacks. Oh, I'm sorry, and he's about to cry and shit like that. And then as soon as Bo Blacks leaves, he takes back most of it.
Like, I don't understand that about people who are like, I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, I see what I did wrong. I'm sorry, I didn't do anything wrong. Especially on a public platform such as this. Like, why in a place where we have all of your shit recorded, all of your shit is readily available to whoever the fuck wants to see it, see you flip-flopping so goddamn hard that you look like a fish out of water? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand the mentality.
Even after the live stream, he was saying to me, like, low-key, fuck Bo Blacks, but then, like, fuck him, not in a hateful way, though, just like an eye roll, because he was rewatching, like, the stream. It was like the motherfucker was dancing on my grave while grandstanding on morals and defending people. Like, he acts like I snaked him and he snakes me in real time or something. I'm like, what?
So he didn't mean the apology then?
No, and do you know what I wrote back to him there?
What?
It is what it is.
I know that's right, girl. I know that's right. That was a win for me just because you use those words. Fuck yeah.
Bro, he was drowning. He was drowning on that stream. It was very awkward to watch. And then you had his brother and their family and their friends were having a great time in the background.
Sad. Yeah, he had his whole family there actually, like, having a good time. And then, like, he was live streaming until everyone was asleep.
Yeah, he could have just had fun on New Year's Eve and worried about that tomorrow. The internet can wait, dude.
I just wish that stream didn't happen. But then also, I'm glad it kind of did.
Well, you know what? I'm glad it did too, because honestly, especially now hearing how he really thought about his apology to Bo Blacks, he ain't shit. He ain't shit. I picked the perfect fucking song at the end of my live stream because he ain't shit. He really isn't.
Yeah.
That is just so disgusting. You sat there and you practically, and I'm getting upset for Bo Blacks here for a second, because you literally sat on that goddamn live stream and you were brought to tears and you moved your face away dramatically and put your hand over your mouth like you were going to cry. And then come to find out you didn't give a shit about that fucking apology? Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck
and then
you.
Even after all that, like, I was saying that, like, that, what did I say? Like, I said something about him being a victim, how he said he was being a victim.
Yeah, because I had said something in the chat going, you were a victim, Howard? He made himself out to be a victim. And I could not understand how he was making himself out to be a victim.
That's the thing, because he started off the stream and he started off talking to me saying, I'm not a victim in this. I'm like, great, you're not a victim in this. Say that. Like, but the thing is, like I had this expectation that he was just going to go and, you know, apologize and own up for shit, but instead he was, like, doubling down on a few things, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? But, like, I was telling him it wasn't a great look, and I think it'd all blow over, and, like, you know, I just think that being drunk and talking about it without any structure was a detriment to his relationships, and I think everyone's, like, at that stage, everyone's petty switch had gone off, you know what I mean? Yep. Everyone was kind of, like, and I said to him, like, even him, at times in the stream, he was just pointing fingers and trying to cope with the situation. And I said it's weird that a lot of people, like, were affected by his timing personally, and everyone's trying to process it and blame other people or hand out "I told you so's," and everyone was fooled. No one understands the individual relationships he had with everybody. Like, he was good at manipulating people, and he manipulated Edwin. I thought he manipulated Edwin at that stage. You know what I mean? And then, like, he did other stuff. And then I also said to him that you're not on the high end of the victim scale. Like, you don't, because he didn't get a chance to burn you, and, you know, besides ghosting you or whatever. And he goes, I don't think I'm a victim at all. And I said, I know, but you ended up saying you were a victim while you were drunk on stream. And then he said, I'm not in a serious way. And so people are taking it serious. And he's like, well, retard alert. I'm like, are you... And I just laughed my fucking ass. I didn't know how to respond to that. And then he goes, Eva, Boulevard of Broken Dreams is my new theme song. And okay, the Bo Black's bridge is salvaged. Like, and that was like an hour or something later after that, saying that like the bridge was salvaged with Bo Blacks, after saying like fuck Bo Blacks again.
Well,
like,
it may not be after Bo Blacks hears this part.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's already done with them. As we saw like the other day, like on, what was it, Dave's stream? That's already done.
Yeah, Edwin's out of the house, bro. He's gone.
Literally out of the house. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was done with Edwin before Bo Blacks came on Dead on Dave's and said what he said. I was done before the Keemstar show. I was already done. The rest of it is just extra added shit. I was already done with him. Because I literally, on my channel, have him up on my panel talking shit about the very friends he has in the name of Salvo. Literally talking shit because his Lord and Savior was right there. Mr. Salvo Pancakes, the one man he wanted to impress. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I think he switched sides for protection. He went to Salvo for protection because the last thing Edwin would want is for his chats to get brigaded. The last thing Edwin would want is the pressure that Salvo Pancakes can put on people. Because he and his S&T could put pressure on people, and he didn't want to deal with it. And then when Salvo got canceled, now I'm going to suck on Nicholas Diorio's toes and kiss his ass. Because he did that in that stream too. He was kissing Nick's ass. And I'm like, have you forgot the shit you talked about?
Befriend the victors. That's it. You
That was something that was so hard to react, like, to even be on. Because, like, being, like, relatively sober as well, and he's like, obviously he'd been drinking, but like, I don't know how much. That doesn't really matter.
I remember when the young breezy person was kind of saying something about Xylie, and I was just like, well, you know, if Xylie wants to respond, she has every right to respond. I'm interested in hearing her response. And there was like this weird quiet moment where just people were, and then she just starts talking again and like trying to argue with me. I'm like, no, I'm just saying, like, if Xylie wants to respond, she has every right to respond, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
And it was
when was that?
That was
that
on the
night.
stream.
That was on the stream. Because somebody had said something about, they said something about me, and Matt actually stood up for me and was like, listen, she has all rights to feel some kind of way. She has all rights to say something if she wants to say something.
Yeah. And I was looking forward to it. So
and I did it the next day.
Like, I'm not going to have, like, them try to, like, shit on it because they're like, oh, what is Xylie going to say? We didn't do anything to Xylie. Like, yeah, no, kind of you did, so let's see what she has to say.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, you very much did. Thank you very much. Jesus Christ, y'all don't remember invading her goddamn chats?
I mean, well, it's funny.
Are we all having memory problems?
Listen, as we speak right now, I just got an email from Parking Tigers.
No fucking way.
Swear to God.
Way.
I just got an email.
Read that shit.
All right.
Read that shit.
This is the email I got from Parking Tigers. Hi, Xylie. This is Parking Tigers. I just wanted to reach out because this has been on my mind, and I know we sure have had our share of differences lately. I want to personally apologize to you for my actions and not being considerate of the shit you've gone through as well. Me dogpiling on you and teasing you on Twitter isn't the move after you've been harassed. I'm not here to make any excuses or anything. Just say I apologize for my actions, and if I caused you any actual distress, that's truly the last thing I want. I want you to smile and say, you motherfucker, when you see my reply. I'm open to a larger conversation if you want to, not recorded, with an exclamation part, you know, because what I told him. He goes, if not, I totally understand that too. Thanks. Hopefully this doesn't get tweeted out with you mocking me. Cheers.
Well, it's gonna be right on a podcast. It's gonna be right on a fucking podcast.
Didn't say anything about podcasts, Xylie, so I think you're in the clear.
Yeah, so technically.
Yeah.
But no. And it's
Didn't he put something on Discord like, hey guys, I'm taking a vacation. by the way, make sure to shit on Xylie and Chris because they're on my shit list or something
Yeah.
like that.
I did see that recently.
Yeah, I saw that
was
too.
that, like only yesterday or something?
Yeah, it was like
Or-
yesterday or the day before.
So I'm supposed to take this serious after
Yeah.
all the months of
Motherfucking
bullshit I had to go through. I'm supposed to take this serious? What? How am I supposed to believe him? Just like how am I supposed to believe Edwin if he ever comes to me and apologizes? I'm not going to. I'm not going to believe them. I'm not.
That's how I feel right now. I don't know if I believe him. I really don't know.
You know? You literally just told people to keep fucking with me, but yet you sent this email to me today.
Yeah.
Like, I got this email right before we recorded.
I got one question, and Eva, you do not have to answer this if you don't want to. To everybody, do you think Edwin sucked Salvo's dick?
Nah, totally.
He told me they didn't do anything. So I don't know.
But why didn't Babs deny it then? Because Babs had a moment to be like,
Yeah.
did anything happen between them? And she's like, that's their business. Like, she had a moment to be like, no, nothing happened between them. They were just,
Yeah.
she didn't do it.
But she also had a chance to say yes, and she didn't do it. So I don't know.
I feel like she said yes by not saying yes, though. That's the way I took it.
Yeah, I get
Listen, in my head canon, he sucks Salvo's dick, all right? And he will always be known as sucking Salvo's dick in my mind. And you know what? It's true whether it's figuratively or actually. Either way, he sucks Salvo's dick.
I just think it's so funny to be like, yeah, babe, let's have a threesome with Salvo. Hold on a second. Like, it's just like, you know?
No.
She's just standing there awkwardly like, what? I'll just be over here, I guess. Like, it's just,
Matthew!
God.
Well, you think Babs got cock?
I don't know.
God.
I don't know.
That's silly. I don't know.
Start blowing up another show. We have more questions to ask.
But but Eva, I will say this, and I know this was something you were worried about because you and I talked about it. I'm not going to go into details what we talked about either, but I will say this. A lot of people who watched that, I have been getting so many questions, whether in DMs or in voice chats or whatever. Everybody wanted to know how you were doing because everyone noticed in that live stream you were very uncomfortable. You were not down with it. And I know that you were maybe, I wouldn't say worried. Worried might be a bad word. People actually cared about what you think because they were worried for you. You know what I mean? So basically what I'm saying is they don't hold what Edwin was saying to you. You know what I mean? You're your own person. And I just don't want you to think that people were going, well, since Edwin acted like that, well, that must be on Eva too. No, people were not thinking that whatsoever.
And I don't think that people are thinking that. I haven't really, to be honest, I haven't really gotten that many messages. And I haven't, that's why I was just like, well, people just probably don't really even care. And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put myself out there as a victim of Edwin because I'm not.
Mine as well. He's going around saying he's a victim.
Look, the dude just lied to me. He was dishonest to me, and friends don't do that. So that's why I'm upset.
I don't mind.
We weren't really friends if this is how this shit's going down. So it's not. Yeah, I'm not dealing with it.
I don't blame you, girl. I do not blame you because Because I know, listen, like I said, he said those words and I kicked him out of everything. I was done with them. I could only imagine what it would be like in your shoes with them.
Yeah.
Those are the type of people, for your own sanity, you drop them like a hot potato.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I didn't want to be a part of that group. I didn't want to be involved in that. But now I'm like, I don't want to just leave, like, the Discord either, because there's, like, a few people in there that actually, like, count me to be there to set things straight. But then I'm like, well, we might just, like, sort of grandizing my, like, status in there. I don't know. Because I've been there for a long time, and I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't want to just, like, cut shit off. But the thing is, like, I'm also, like, kind of over it.
Will you ever have, like, a real conversation with Edwin, like a call or something?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I think I will. There's a lot of things that I need to sort of go over and just sort of, but the thing is that what is there to sort of really take away from this? Like, all you can really say is, sorry, the bridge has already kind of been fucked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe having a conversation with them would bring you closure where you can just walk away clean and say, okay, fuck it. It's done.
Yeah.
It's over with. It's closed. And now I can walk away without any questions.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And to everyone listening, I will definitely do this before this video comes out, before this podcast comes out. Because I'm not going to sort of just let him to find out all this shit.
No. I
But
feel
like,
you.
I'll just be like, look, because he even just said that, I can say what I like and how I feel. Like, that was going to happen anyway. I didn't need his permission.
Yeah.
Well, when it
Sorry.
boils down to it, you didn't need his fucking permission anyway. Anyhow, because it's 2023. Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. That message he sent to you was like condescending, I'm sorry, feel bad for me I have ever seen in my life.
It wasn't even an I'm sorry, though.
No,
Let's
it
be
wasn't.
real. That wasn't an apology.
No, it wasn't. It was a
was not
feel
an
sorry for
apology.
me. I'm a victim still. Oh, God. It irritated me. I'm sorry.
The fact that it said I'm not holding anything against you in any way. It's like, holding what against me? I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything to him. What did you do to
That's
him
what I don't get.
besides
It's like
trying
you
to
cut me
save?
off.
Yeah. Like,
So
what
that
did...
it,
Exactly. Like, what did you do to him is beside trying to save his ass during that abomination of a fucking live stream? Like,
I'm guessing there's so many people that's against him right now that he naturally needs to be on the defense, even though he doesn't need to be defensive with you.
No,
At all.
And that's what I saw. I'm like, why? Yeah. I don't know.
There's absolutely no reason for any of this to go down. Let's be real.
Oh,
Any last statements?
How are you feeling about all this, Matt?
yeah, Matt, how do you feel?
Because you're
What do
also,
you mean?
you're also like, we're friends with like Edwin for a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
we're friends. I guess everyone was kind of like,
But yeah, I mean, I'd say I was probably as friends with Edwin like I was friends with Nick or Bobax or those
Yeah.
guys. But yeah, no, I think I talked to Edwin the most the past year, aside from Tommy, like when it comes to like YouTubers. So I always thought Edwin was a really chill guy who it was funny on streams. I always liked his streams. He was probably one of the first channels I watched out of this group back in like 2019 or 2020. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't know. I'm not really as surprised as I thought I would be, because I just been seeing this slowly build, and there is a part of me that I wish I could have I wanted to maybe take him to the side and be like, "Yo, you sure you want to go with this whole Salvo thing?" But I was always kind of paranoid that if I took somebody to the side, right, and I was like, "Yo, I'm not sure about this whole Salvo thing. You sure you want to like dig in like this?" Salvo, like he's just going to turn around and tell Salvo, "Oh, Matt Pitt's scheming."
Mm-hmm.
Matt Pitt's trying something against you. I never wanted to like do that. I never wanted it for me to come off as me scheming because I liked Salvo. I wasn't trying to scheme. I just like, yo, this is not looking as great as you think it is because you're basically copying him in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just weird. And it's the same as like Xylie, you had a lot of issues with Salvo, and I could never go to Salvo and be like, yo, can you chill out with the Xylie stuff? Because if I did that, he'd just turn it all the way up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was to the point with Salvo. There was nothing else left to do but just stop talking about him. Because I literally did everything else. I even pulled up to him person to person. And I mean, believe me, poor Matt, he had to deal with me in the DMs during that time. But you know what? Matt is the homie. Matt will always be the homie because my God, Matt had to deal with me during that time, and bless his heart, always will be with my bro. Just saying.
Well, it's like this, like the one time where I tried to reach out to Salvo and be like, yo, it was the Jessica Pizzle thing. Like, yo, you going to pay Jessica? Absolutely. Look how that turned out. So like, it's never worth it to go to Salvo and be like, hey, here's my advice, guy. Let's not do this, or let's do this. Are you sure about this? Are you sure about that? Salvo's going to do what he wants to do, and he doesn't care about you. He's respectful to the people that he respects. But at the end of the day, we're just, we're nobodies. We're just, and he doesn't see us like as anyone.
Yeah, true. My last thoughts. Well, personally, I think Edwin is a piece of shit. You turned your back on the friends that, and when I say friends with Edwin, like Edwin and I weren't super close. It's not like I told him, secrets of mine or whatever. Like we didn't have that kind of friend. It wasn't like a friendship, but we were friendly with each other, right? He would come on my channel. I would go up on his, but I never told him like secrets, or anything like that. But he literally shit on all his friends to go be with Salvo. And Salvo was literally harassing his friends and let me go get protection by being with Salvo. Now he wants to flip it once Salvo get exposed, and in the middle of it, now Edwin's getting exposed. Bad things happen to bad people. I don't feel sorry for him. Last minute thing about Salvo, we all know how I feel about Salvo. Do I really have to say it? He's a piece of fucking shit. He is a piece of fucking shit. And number 3, make sure to subscribe to Toxic Pip-Up's channel for Now Recording. Those are the homies.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. What about you, Mystic?
This shit's fucked. It's so dumb. I wish it wasn't happening, but it is. And you know what? We're just laughing at everyone's suffering, because you know what? That's how we do.
I mean, we're on the internet.
That's just how it be.
I mean, we are on the internet. That's true. Because, my God. And what about you, Eva?
I know, I feel like I'm disassociating.
Valid.
I can't just keep tuning out. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I can't.
Yes. No, I love it. That's a perfect answer. I'm okay with it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. I hope that's okay.
Oh, my God.
Hey cuties, if you're still listening, first of all, thanks so much for the overwhelming support that you've shown us here at the broadcast, and to me in particular. So I thank you all for asking after me and for the messages I've received. It's been 3 days since the recording of this episode, and I thought you guys might like a little update on my personal stance with Edwin now if you're interested. So I had replied to his message after the recording, and I expressed everything that I needed to say and that I don't want to be involved, and he basically lied and that he blew it. So Edwin initially responded with a really nice apology. Like he said he agreed and that he understood. It was a really good apology, and until he pressed send on the next paragraph. So the next paragraph included excuses and dissecting word choices such as the word lie, and then he homed in on the phrasing of different words, and he even provided a timestamp to the very live stream I co-hosted as a receipt. Yeah, he ruined it. So I didn't respond. Then I think it was about a day later, maybe, he messaged again and asked if I would like to be demodded, and that he would like to give out a statement about our separation to the Discord. So I added everyone in the Discord, in the Edwin's Generation Discord, and just said goodbye and then left the server. So I guess you could say that we're done. That's the update, I guess. Thanks for sticking around, and thanks for listening.
Well, thank you everybody for listening to this wonderful episode of the broadcast. Thank you again, Matt, for joining us today. Amazing having you. You're a great conversationalist.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself.
We love Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
Subscribe to Round Recording. Follow Matt Pitt on Twitter. Follow all of us on all of our platforms downstairs in the description. Yeah. And everyone have a wonderful day.
I birthed this podcast. It was my idea. Mystic, the reason you're here is because of me. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, real quick, let me run down what this asshole is saying. Okay, let me take back every good thing I said about Matt. I was looking for a podcast, and I knew I wanted Eva, and I was like, I really want another chick, another cool ass chick to do it with. And Matt was like, what about Mystic? I was like, oh, he goes, she's an old head in the community. She could be the one that she knows all the old stuff and all the, like the history behind the community. I said, great idea. And then I met Mystic, where we actually had a conversation, and she's cool as shit. And I was like, boom, there we go.
Was good.
Yeah.
So Matt, he didn't birth this podcast, but he certainly helped conceive it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the doctor aiding with the pushing.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, push, Xylie. You're almost there.
Oh my God.
All right, everybody, say bye to the people.
Peace out.
People.
Bye, everybody.